Hi everyone, this is a quick review for you of a perfume that I've fallen head over heels in love with and feel like I want to own, but there is a slight problem. That problem is the price. It's £160 for 60 mils and I don't really usually spend that much money. I do have some expensive perfumes, but generally I've bought them second-hand, used bottles, or at the very least I've bought them at full retail but then split them so that I've I can subsidise the cost a little bit. And this is not a fragrance that I've seen come up on any sites or any Facebook groups. It's unlikely to, I think, as well. So yeah, I'm in a dilemma. Eat, pay the bills, or buy the perfume. Anyway, that's my problem. Let me tell you all about it. So it's called, I'm going to read it because I'm always going to get it wrong, Le plus beau jour de ma vie. Le plus beau jour de ma vie. And it's from Guerlain. Means the most beautiful day of my life, and it's supposed to be based upon the day you get married. There's a fragrance that is the extract version of it, and that's called Le Bouquet de Mariée, which means the marriage bouquet. And this, what I'm talking about, is basically the eau de parfum version of that one. The Bouquet de Mariée is about £500 for a bottle, so that is absolutely out of the question. So anyway, the notes of this fragrance, I'll read them out to you. Angelica, citrus and pink pepper in the top, sugared almond, rose, orange blossom in the mid, and incense, patchouli, white musk and vanilla in the base. So I've tried this on skin a couple of times now. I was in Harrods and Selfridges yesterday, so I actually, in both shops at the Guerlain counter, I got to the first one in Harrods. The lady actually hosed me down with it at my request, and she was very generous, sprayed loads on me, and I absolutely loved it. But then several hours passed, and although I could still smell it, I couldn't resist the opportunity to top up when we were in Selfridges. And there was a lovely lady in Selfridges. Her name was Dan. I believe she was from the Orient somewhere. She's really, really friendly, and yeah, I was able to spray myself again with some more just because I wanted to make sure it lasted into the evening. And I didn't know about longevity. So anyway, good news on longevity. Thumbs up. I wore, yeah, so that was when I sprayed it in Selfridges, was probably about 6:37 p.m. and it went all through the evening, projecting quite nicely. And then I was still able to smell it when I woke up the next day. I could smell it sort of coming up from my chest, and I could smell just a little bit of sweetness on my wrist. So in terms of longevity, no worries whatsoever, can't argue with that. Let's talk about how it smells. So I've just sprayed, I've got a tiny little bit there, and I've just sprayed here. Oh my god, I love it so much. It does remind me of quite a few different Guerlain fragrances. It's kind of a little bit like Mon Precious Nectar in some ways. Mon Precious Nectar does have almond and vanilla and florals, as does this. Also, in the dry down, I noticed that at times it smelled a little bit like Iris Ganache, and if you're not familiar with Iris Ganache, it's very, very well loved, discontinued, and fucking expensive. I've got a couple of decants I treasure and treat myself to a little spritz every now and then. It's stunning. So it also has sort of a little bit of a Cuir Beluga feel about it as well, possibly from the almond. Basically, the way the fragrance works on my skin, what I notice is it's almost like a billowing silk, the way that it changes. You just notice a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Sometimes it smells more almondy, and other times you smell more vanilla and more floral. Oh, it's sweet, but there is a tiny bit of freshness coming through as well. Very powdery. It's not a strong fragrance in terms of, it's not beasting out like a massive distance from you, and it's not cloying, and it's not obnoxious. It's subtle. It's almost like a transparent ghostliness about it. So I absolutely love it, and that is it. Thank you.